Yes, we will go to the teaching now. Security policies in religious organization in this end time. And we will agree that we are actually in the end time. But before we go further, I want us to take this song. If I have the permission of my daddies, maybe we will do a little exercise. I want us to take the song while standing up. Maybe we should also do some marching. The church is marching on. The church is marching on. The gate of hell shall not prevail. The church is marching on. It's marching on. Church is marching on. Look at me. The church is marching on. The gate of hell shall not prevail. The church is marching on. The church is marching on. The church is marching on. The gate of hell shall not prevail. The church is marching. It's marching on. The church is marching on. The church is marching on. The gate of hell shall not prevail.
The church is marching on. The church is marching on. The church is marching on. The gate of hell shall not prevail. The church is marching on.
Amen. Really, the church is marching on, and the gate of hell shall never prevail. Yes. Please let's sit down. Thank you, sir. We all know the time we are in now in this country. And like Pastor Abimbola rightly said, there was a time when we hear about kidnapping, when we hear about bombing, what will come to our mind is that, oh, it's in the north. But today, we know that whether in the north, in the west, in the south, in the east, there is nowhere that is completely safe. Some people normally say that in the whole country now that the southwest is the safest. But we also know, we that are here in the southwest, we also know that there are a lot of insecurity around us. So we should not take anything for granted. Let's go. Insecurity is everywhere in the land, except for the period of the Civil War between 1967 and 1970. The country has never experienced anything close to this level of insecurity. At a time in this country, when you want to travel, you prefer to travel at night because your engine will work coolly, and it is even safer. When a vehicle is approaching you, you see the headlamp. So you know, no vehicle will, even in a bend, you know that, oh, a vehicle is coming. So people prefer to travel at night. But is it still so today? It's no more so. It's no more so. As a matter of fact, I normally advise now that if you want to travel, on no account to a family, all the family pack themselves in a car and travel. Maybe let the daddy go if it is not too important. If it is too important, let daddy and mommy go. Let the children stay at home so that we will not be victims. If anything wants to happen while you are traveling, if you are alone, there's the chances that you may even run. But if your families are there, are you going to run to leave them? No. The answer is no. The answer is no. And it has been happening. There was a story of a man and his wife traveling along Akure Road. A bike pretended to want to have accident with them, thereby stopping them. There and then, they were kidnapped. And the people told them, say, okay, you husband, you can go. They went into the bush with the wife. Can you imagine the state of mind of that husband? Because your wife will be looking at you for protection, for defense. But in a situation where you are there and they are saying you can go, your wife will be with us until you can raise so amount of money. It is so bad. The situation is so bad. And, well, let's thank God that maybe it's going down now. But one thing I want us to know concerning security and insecurity is for people to take things for granted. That is the worst thing that can happen. If it has happened one time, don't say, oh, it has gone. It cannot happen again. That is bad. If it is happening in the north, don't say, oh, Sebi, it is in the north. You can't get here. You are wrong. You are wrong. It is everywhere now, and the situation is so bad. Okay, from the northeast to the southeast, from the northwest to the southwest, and from the north central to the south, everywhere is besieged. Everywhere in the country. Like we mentioned earlier on, it started from the north, and we were just hearing it. Oh, they have bombed so place, they have kidnapped so number of people, they have taken so number of people to the bush, and around that time we may be thinking that, oh, it's in the north. But now it is right here with us. Along Lagos-Ibadan Road, recently, many people were kidnapped. Many people were kidnapped. In fact, there was a particular incident. A particular person was very close to me who told me that his brother was coming from Lagos with the wife. You know what happened? That brother was planning to travel abroad. And they have sold virtually everything they have. They don't need it again. They have gotten their visa. They were preparing to go. So somebody died in Lagos. So they just went to, commiserate with that family. While they were coming back, they were attacked not too far from Ibadan here. And what happened? That man was killed. The man was killed. The wife became empty because they have sold everything they had. They were just to travel out. So the woman, you can imagine, where is it going to start from? Where is that person going to start from? But that is the situation that we are right now. They are on the road. They are on the rail track. They are in the churches, the mosque, the schools, individual homes, and in the prison. Before, when we have Boko Haram, what they normally do is to go to people who were in their farm and attack them. Maybe at a particular point, the people find it difficult to go and farm. But it does not stop there. They now come to the road and waylay people. We have example of it around us. In fact, the one that normally happen around us is for people to go to the road. Sometimes they will be shouting, Ijebu, the Ibadan Road, don't travel there, and this thing. Sometimes Lagos, Ibadan Road. That's how it's happened. Even in the north, that's the worst. You can be going like this, some people will just block you and take everybody into the bush. So they are on the road, they are on the rail track. We hear, all of us heard about the attack on the train between Abuja and Kaduna. We know the number of people that were taken to the bush, and we also know the number of days they spent with the bandits. Federal government negotiating, maybe secretly, but people were negotiating. They were demanding for money that I don't know, maybe the country cannot even raise. They are in the home. Recently, they are going to the homes in Abuja to pick people. That man, that lady that was killed recently, I think about 5 of them were kidnapped from their home. One of them was brought out and executed so that the father can go and look for money to come and rescue the other. So they now go to homes. So you are not even safe inside your home. That has been happening somewhere in the southeast before. Even they go to palaces. Go to palace, either kidnap the queen or even the king. Even the king. So they are everywhere. We heard about them when some of them were detained at Kuje prison in Abuja. They went there, attacked the prison, and liberated their men. We all had, we are in this country, we all had. So they are relentless. They are relentless. They are not resting. They are becoming more embroiled. Yes, the security agencies are trying their best. They are doing their best. But it appears that their best is not enough presently. It appears their best is not enough. Now, that's the general background. Now, attacks on churches. We won't be able to, in fact, it is not possible for us to mention the number of churches that have been attacked in this country. It's not possible. I will only mention few that maybe all of us know here. Many churches, I think you know that it is not all kidnapping that we even hear. There are a lot of kidnappings that are going on that nobody will even mention. Nobody will even talk about it. It is only when they are kidnapped in large numbers that everybody will hear, like the Chibok girl, the Dapsy girl, and some other ones like that. So kidnapping are happening day in, day out. So data shows that in 2020, there were 19 attacks in 2020. Okay, there were 19 attacks in 2020. That is on churches. And in 2021, there were about 33 attacks on churches. Churches, different churches in different parts of the country. It shows further that about 1,664 persons have died in targeted attack against churches. 390 persons sustained varying forms of injuries. 188 places of worship have been burnt or destroyed by terror arsonists since 2010. I want to believe that these numbers are even below what we have. These numbers are even below. Let me tell you one thing. If there is an attack, the government agency, if they tell you that 20 people died in that attack, what will come to your mind, sir? Before government will assume or confirm that 20 people died, it will be difficult to count the number of deaths. It's not that they are lying, but what they want to do is that they don't want to put fear into your mind. They don't want to create fear, general fear into the mind of, and let me tell you, terrorists, what they want to achieve mainly is to create fear into the mind of the people. They want to create their fears so that government will be embarrassed. That is the main difference between terrorists and banditry. Bandits want to make money. They are doing their own for economic reasons. That is bandit. When they kidnap, they are asking for big money. When they release those ones, they are looking for another one. But terrorists like Boko Haram, they believe that they have an ideology that they are pursuing, and they want to create fear into the mind of the people to believe that the government cannot protect you, so that they can embarrass the government. They are proving a political point. So this number that we have there, I believe, is a way of beating down what really happened. Some data claim that since year 2000, 62,000 Christians in Nigeria have been murdered in genocide perpetrated by Islamic jihadist groups, including Boko Haram, Islamic State of West Africa, ISWAP, and Fulani militia. We all know what is going on in Jos presently. That means Plateau State altogether. We know how people are being attacked. Benue State, people are not allowed to go to their farm again. There are mass killing, and it's happening almost every time. It's happening almost every time. In Kaduna State, we hear of attack all the time. Why is Kaduna State very important to us? In Kaduna, we have sizable number of Christians. We have some Christian community. If you go to Kaduna today, if you are going to work there, they will ask you, are you a Christian or a Muslim? Because that depends on where you can find accommodation. I was there. If you are a Christian, there are some places you can live. There are some places you cannot live. They will tell you. If you are a Muslim, there are some places you cannot live. Don't go and look for accommodation there because you are not safe. So what I'm saying is that in Kaduna State, we have sizable number of communities that belong to Christians. And if you listen to those attacks, they happen mostly in those communities. The attacks in Kaduna State happen mostly in those Christian communities. Go and check their name. By their name, you will know where these people come from. So the attack is indirectly against Christianity. On December 25, 2011, there were 3 seemingly coordinated attacks on Christian communities in the northern part of the country. We will remember one of them very well. That was the attack on St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Mandala, Niger State. It was a terrible experience on a Christmas day, 25th of December. It was not the only one. Another one happened in Damaturu. Another one happened in Jos. Then there was another one in Padaka now. That is close to Damaturu again. But the Mandala Church was spearheaded by a man known by Kabiru Sokoto. Can we still remember that name? You should. His real name is Kabir Umar Abubakar Diko. That's his real name. Kabiru Sokoto is just a sobriquet. But that is what everybody knows. If I just mention Kabiru Umar Abubakar Diko, now you will see that many people will not even know who we are talking about. Kabiru Sokoto was, who knows where is Kabiru Sokoto presently? Do we know anything that happened to him? But we know he was arrested. He was arrested, he later escaped. He was arrested. The attack happened December 25. In February, he was arrested. But while they were taking him to search his house, somewhere in Federal Capital Territory, he escaped. That was 2 days after his arrest. He escaped. But later, police rearrested him somewhere at Mutumbi in Taraba State. And he was charged under the Terrorism Act, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. But in 2014, There was this attack on this school girl at Chibok. And what the news that was going around there was that the Boko Haram were negotiating that before we release this Chibok girl, that is federal government, must release all their officers that were in prison. And the news went around that Kabiru Sokoto had been released. But eventually, the spokesman for the prison came out to say that it was a lie, that Kabiru Sokoto is still with them. I don't know, I don't work in the prison. But he came to tell us that Kabiru Sokoto was still with them at that time. And that was the man that masterminded the attack of a very big church in Niger State where many people died. I think NEMA confirmed that 37 people died, but it was on record that more than 50 people died in that attack, with several people injured. A big church of that nature. So apart from that again, another attack happened in Damaturu that same day. That same day. That's why I said similarly coordinated attack. That same day, one attack in Mandala, another one in Damaturu, another one in Jos, and another one in another small town very close to the border between Yobe and Bauchi State. You know, those are the areas, if you follow the trend, there are some areas in Bauchi, in Yobe State, where we have Christians. Yes, Bauchi, Yobe, there are some areas between them. We have sizable number of Christians. And those are the areas where we have this attack. 2 in Damaturu, the capital of Yobe State. There were 2 attacks. Then one was the handwork of okay. I don't want to take us into this. At least 3 people were killed. That was the attack in Damaturu. A senior military officer said to have been targeted by him, however, escaped. The other was an explosion which happened in a church in Gadaka, near border with Bauchi State. On that same day, an explosion occurred at a branch of the Mountain of Fire and Miracle in Jos, Plateau State. Gunmen later fired on police officers guiding the area. Then 2 other unexploded bombs were found in a nearby building and were detonated. I'm mentioning all this so that we know when we are talking of policy to work against attack on Christians, then we will know what are we talking about. We have mentioned the general insecurity background in the country. Then we are discussing the attack on Christians, on churches, on Christian communities in different parts of the country. Thank God, in the southwest, maybe most part of the south, we don't have this attack. That is attack on whether Christian or Muslim. Because in Yoruba land, especially maybe Oyo, Osun, maybe Ogun, I don't think there's a family where we don't have both Christian and Muslim. In my area, we don't have too much of Muslim. Most of us are Christian or idol worshippers. But in some areas where we have the Muslim, they don't really want the Christian to thrive. They believe that Christianity is a threat to their own religion. And why? Because we preach. Why, if you want people, Christians will go out and preach to them, explain to them why they should come and join us. Tell them how Jesus Christ considered their heart as dear to him. How Jesus Christ is ready to wash their sins away and take away their suffering. But their own is not like that. It's either you take the sword or you take the Quran. So that's where we have that type of attack, mostly in the northern part of the country. Now, we should also remember that on the 5th of June, 2022, St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, in Ondo State, was attacked with explosions and gunmen fired at worshippers. It was reported that more than 50 people died in this attack. However, government agency confirmed 41 deaths. I hope we still remember the attack in Owo. Yes, I'm quite sure that is very recent. It was, the Yoruba will say, Ojo Buruku Esugbomimu. It was a terrible experience. People in the church, they were about to finish their morning mass. It's like the people have been hanging around. And that is, we will go to where we are really going to. That we should all be vigilant. We should all be vigilant. Security is not the work of the ushers alone. It's not the work of the policemen if we have them around alone. Security is the work of everybody. Those people may have been hanging around. When they were about to round up the morning mass, they just attacked them with explosion, then with gun again, inside the church. Inside the church. That is not a good experience. So, there are other lots and lots of other attacks on churches and Christian communities in the north and probably in the west, I mean in the south, because Owo is not in the north. Is Owo in the north? No. Owo is in Ondo State. So we cannot say in the north alone. It is all over the country. Now, it can happen anywhere. That is one thing about insecurity. If it can happen somewhere, it can also happen anywhere. If it can happen sometimes ago, it can still happen now. But God will continue to protect us in Jesus' name. Now, what are the policies that should be able to stop and put an end to all this? Let me say that the government have a part to play, because the role of every government is to secure the life of the people. That is the primary role of every government, to secure the life of the people. We are supposed to, as a matter of fact, we are supposed to be able to move freely in the night. We are supposed to be able to go to anywhere we want to go, because the government is there to protect us. I pray that our government will be able to protect us in Jesus' name. Yes, so we have some part for the government and we have some part for the church. Because if the government can, even if the government can protect us, we still, Ojulala can feel sorry. Abi? Yes, we still have to be vigilant. We still have to notice, we must notice what is going on around us. We must be aware of situation around us. That is situation awareness. What is happening around us. The ushers are here. If there's anything wrong, going wrong somewhere in that place, the usher may not see, but people around there will see, and we must stop. That is, if you see something, you must do something. If you see something, you must do something. So finding solution to attack on churches cannot be treated in isolation. There must be a holistic approach to security sector reform in Nigeria. Policing is key to finding lasting solution to attack on churches. The police must be properly recruited, properly trained, properly remunerated, and properly encouraged to do their job. In some other climes, and when we talk of security, surveillance is at the root of it. Surveillance. Anything want to happen now. The duty of the police is to to prevent and to detect crime. Why is it put like that? To prevent and to detect crime. One, their duty is that no crime should be able to happen. You should be able to have this surveillance if anything want to happen tomorrow, the police is supposed to have known today. As a matter of fact, there are things that the police will stop that you may not even need to be told. I don't know if there's any of us working in the SSS here. The SSS is not supposed to be an agency that people will know. This man is working in SSS. No. They are supposed to be underground security agencies. If anything happens, they'll be able to alert the necessary security agency to prevent it. But if this surveillance fails, that is where the thing will not happen. But when it happens, it's also the duty of the police to detect. If they cannot prevent, then they should be able to detect. So when we talk of security, whether of the churches, whether of the mosque, of any individual, the police is key. The police is the number one security agency when it comes to internal security. As a matter of fact, every other agencies are taken from the police. The NDLA, the civil defense, every other one, they are taken from the police. So to have security in our churches, in our communities, in our localities, the police is key. And what is key then? They are training. We look at how they are being recruited, how they are being trained. When I was in the police for 32 years before I left on my own, one man told us that everything that is done in the police training has a purpose. Sometimes there are some things that happen there that it will be difficult for you to discover the purpose. But eventually, when I sat down, when I heard that thing from the man, I now sat down and see. The police is supposed to be, when you go through a police training, if you actually imbibe the training, you are supposed to be a different person. You are supposed to come out as a different person from the way you went in. You are supposed to be everything. You are supposed to be a driver, a photographer, a computer analyst, and everything. It's not good that we have a police who are going through training and he doesn't know how to drive. Because that is why sometimes there was an incident, police team were on the road. There was only one man among them who can drive. And the vehicle knocked down that driver. And they have a brand new vehicle there, but they cannot pursue because the man who can drive has been knocked down by the police. It's not so anywhere, any other places. I was in the United Nations this thing at Sudan. Your driver's license is one of your permits there. You must be able to drive. Everybody there is a driver. So you don't even need, you want to go to one place, you say, we are waiting for a driver. Which driver are you waiting for? You are not waiting for any driver. You are a driver. That's how police is supposed to be. So when somebody must have gone through police training, he's supposed to come out as a different person, well disciplined. There are a lot of, like I said, there are a lot of things there that they do. I mean, things that are, like these bowlers. There are people that are in that place to be carrying it to Ojota. I attended police training college in Kenya. So I was asking, when that man said, everything here has a purpose. And what is the purpose of people carrying death? It is, I now remember, if there's a death somewhere, maybe some death happened maybe about 3-4 days, and you have to investigate it, you must be able to endure the odor that will be coming out from that place. That is the purpose of you. Go to that section. They will wake us up 4:30. What is the purpose of this? What if you are on duty? Your duty may start anytime. And as a matter of fact, if you attend Mopo Training Wing, that is PMF, if you attend the training, my God. Well, I don't have to mention some of those things here. Because it's like you are being trained to become a madman there. But there's a purpose. Because one were la fin wo chita. So if you have a madman at home And when one madman is coming, you push that madman to go and meet him. So everything they have a purpose. So policing is key to security. So we must look at we can come out, everybody can come out to say, the police, what you say, yes, there are a lot of things they do that are not good. But look at the background. What is the cause? When you give them, human being, when you give human being an age, they will take a yard. If you give a policeman a vehicle to go and patrol, and you don't service that vehicle, you don't buy fuel in that vehicle, you want him to go and look for a way to buy, he will do more than that fuel, he will get more than that fuel. That is the reason. So, I'm not justifying anything here. Yes, I'm not justifying anything, but what I'm saying is that we have to look at the background. Our policemen are going outside and they excel. Why is it that when they are here, they become nothing again? So we must be able to look at policing. Then, decentralizing the police is very germane. There's this argument going on now. I don't know why the state government in Nigeria, it's like even that they are not supporting it. People are saying that if we have state police, that the state governors will abuse them, which is true. It's a valid argument. But the advantages of having state police will outweigh the power of the governor to abuse them. The advantages are far, far more than that. If that is the only, because if you are saying that the governors will abuse the police, are you now saying that the federal government is also abusing the police that we have now? That is it. So it is good that we have local police who understand the people, who understand the community. If you are in the local community, there's hardly that a crime will be committed that we won't be able to say it must be so people. Yes, we must be able to know. So if you have state police that are locally based, there are a lot of crime that will be detected. There are a lot of crime that will be prevented. So the issue of Nigeria's porous border must be addressed squarely and frontally. I don't even know whether we have border now, because the way arms and ammunition, light arms are entering into Nigeria, I don't know. The legally held arms in Nigeria may not be up to the ones that are illegally held. It may not be up to, especially coming from the northern part. And that's why we see all this attack happening there, because almost every home they have arms, not local arms. AK-47, that is arms using 7.62 caliber. It's about the deadliest of the light arms. But we have it all around. And it's because our borders are very porous. These arms are coming from somewhere like Sudan, Muammar Gaddafi's place, Libya, and all those Maghreb. The arms are coming from there, and they are flowing into the country. This is not good for us. This is not good for our security. When we were in the police, what they told us is that if an arm is missing, if a gun is missing, they say the life of Mr. President is not safe. That's what we were told. That if a gun is missing, the life of Mr. President is not safe. But today, we have millions of guns in the place, around us in the place. Millions of guns. So whose life is at stake now? Everybody's life. Everybody's life is not safe. Everybody's life is not safe. Not only that, not only in terms of arms coming in, when our borders are not well manned, you know, some part of Nigeria, we have people of the same tribe who are Nigerian and who are also of foreign countries. Niger, Cameroon, and some other countries like that. you won't know who is a Nigerian and who is a Nigerian. So they come in. As a matter of fact, most of the violent crimes that are going on in the country, it is suspected that they are foreign nationals that are committing them, because there's no way we monitor how they come in and how they go out. When you want to commit a crime against your country, maybe sometimes you will think twice that this thing will go to the foundation of that country. But if you are doing it against another country, then you don't care, especially people who don't have education, they don't have moral, they don't have God, they don't have anything. But they come in droves. Well, maybe they even said some of them have even been head of state in Nigeria before, I don't know. But that's what we have. So, many of these foreigners are difficult to detect due to identical tribe, language, culture, religion, and so with some tribe in Nigeria. So, to address our porous border is very, very important. Similarly, addressing, okay, I think I've taken that. There must be continuous religious dialogue among leadership of various religious groups. Every attacker of a church must have received impetus and stimulations and encouragement from one religious teacher somewhere. You know, all these radical preachers, not Christian now. A lot of things they say, if you hear I don't understand their language, but if you have somebody to interpret to you, most of these people that are attacking, they got encouragement from those preaching. They get encouragement from, they were being pushed to go and commit crime from those preaching. When they will say that some people are infidel, who are infidel? Your Muhammad did not say anybody is an infidel. I have a friend, we went to the law school together, and he told me that any Muslim who is attacking Christian that is not a Muslim, he said it's not a good Muslim. He said because their leader Muhammad said no Christians should be attacked. He said there was a time some people went to war and they came back with some booty, and when Muhammad asked them, where do you get all this? They said they attack a church. He said they should return those things. That's what my friend, I don't know about Quran, but what is a good Christian Muslim? He said, if you are a good Muslim, that you never attack a Christian. But, you know, people are being pushed because of their IQ, and they believe that if you are a Christian, that you are an infidel. It's not so. So, all those, there must be Christian and Muslim coming together, sitting down and lecturing themselves. Ojú ọ̀run tẹ́yẹ fò láì fara kanra now. If you cannot convert to Christianity, then practice your Muslim and let Christianity be. So that's it. Then concerning the church now, this is how it concerns us. The first and most important action of the churches is awareness and consciousness of the security situations around our worship centers. The fact that we are here talking about this afternoon is one of the reasons that we know that, we are aware of the security situation in the country. If we are not, we won't be talking about security here. So awareness is key. Then consciousness of it is also key. Anywhere you are, be conscious of the fact that the town is not smiling. Like I mentioned earlier on, if you want to travel now, think well. If the journey is not too important, don't go. If it's not important, don't go. If it is important and one member of the family can represent, let that member go. If the mommy and the daddy must be there, well, let them go. Let the children stay around. There shouldn't be any situation where everybody will just park ourselves in the car. We are traveling. It's not safe. It's not safe. So we must be aware. We must be aware of what is happening around us. Now, let's look at this, our gathering. This is not the convention. But look at the number of us that are here. God be with us. This is a veritable target for terrorism attack. So we must know this. So when we want to gather like this, we must not take security for granted. We must make provision for it. We must make people that will be at strategic places, especially our entrances. I know that we have a lot of entrances that enter this place, because I don't even think we can fence this our compound. I don't know how possible it will be, including the residential areas. It will be, but we must be able to monitor how people come in. These attackers, they are not spirit. They are human beings like us. And let me say this. Before anybody will go and attack a place, they must have carried out their own surveillance. They must have gone there, check how security conscious we are, check how we live, how we behave, whether we just take things for granted. If anybody enters here and before he moves some meters, if 2-3 people are attacking him, if 3 people are, confronting him, he will think twice before he will come and take arms to enter this place. He will say, those people, be careful. They are very conscious. They are very conscious of their environment. So we need this. And like I said earlier on, don't say, when you see something, don't say, OSA will take care of it. No, you should also take care of it. And let me say this. How many of us know that each and every one of us here have a power of arrest? How many of us know? Okay, I'm telling you now that we all have the power to arrest if we suspect that any crime is being committed. The only difference is that when you arrest, you must take that person to the police. If you suspect, if you are saying that, no, it's not so. If you see anything, it's only that the suspicion of a civilian may be different from, because maybe you are going, you see somebody who just look back. You say, let me suspect this man. No, it's not so. Before you will say, if even an armed robber that is arrested, if he's taken before the court, he's a suspect. Even when you arrest him on the act. But it's not that when you see him looking back twice, you say, this man is a suspect, and I'm going to arrest him. No, you must watch. If you see him like that, yes, something will come to your mind. Then you watch. Don't let him know that you are watching him. Then he may lead you to, you will be able to say that, this man actually have intention to do something. And let me tell you, if you arrest that person and take him to the police, if eventually it is discovered that he is not committed any offense, you have not committed any offense. I don't know whether we understand what I'm saying. If you arrest somebody on suspicion and you take that person to the police, if eventually the police discover that the man is not a criminal, you are also you have not committed any offense for arresting him. You have not committed any offense. You are only being vigilant. I don't know. What is the excitement for? I don't understand. There's no way I can get your concern. Sir? Okay. Well, it is. Let me confess. Because like I told you the other time, if you actually take the police training, there are a lot of things you will know. For example, one, you don't talk like every other person. There are a lot of things that should come to you that you will even need to work on them without telling anybody, except maybe you tell your boss. But today, it is possible for you to even give information to the police, and eventually the man will know that you are the one who gave that information. He says, yes, maybe that is why we are making it. Is possible, but we are all Nigerians and we understand our situation. But it's not supposed to be so. It is very, very wrong. It is very, very wrong. And I think that is why sometimes ago police are saying that if you see anything, go and tell your community leader. If you are suspecting that police may sell you out, tell your community leader that, somebody somewhere, we don't know what he's doing, we don't know his work, he's not going out when people are going out, he's only going out at night. You can go and tell your community leader. So God will help us in Jesus' name. So the church should conduct vulnerability assessment of their centers and locations. We were mentioning the entrances to this place. How vulnerable is this place? How vulnerable? This place is highly porous. It's porous. I know that there are a lot of entrance from Ogumake here. There are a lot of entrance from the residential area. This is an entrance, and I don't know, maybe the security in the entrance is even enough to know who are coming and are going out. But these are things that we should look into. If we want to prevent attack on our worship center, we must assess how vulnerable are we. Are we fenced? If we are not fenced, how many places can people come in? Are they well mapped? Are they mapped out? And are they well manned? So we must look at all this. These things are things that we should take seriously. We should take it seriously. Honestly, let me tell you, as a security personnel, when we come to conventions like this, there are a lot of things my mind will be working on. There are a lot of things, even in our centers. Maybe we are holding Easter retreat at our region. A lot of things. I don't just go there as a participant alone. I also go there as a security man. Though I may not tell anybody. But then, hardly that anything suspicious will go around me that I won't notice. And if I notice, I will call the attention of somebody. But this is what all of us should do. This is what all of us. So we should conduct vulnerability assessment. Then we should now know whether to install camera in some places, whether to install men that are specifically, detailed for that purpose. Watch those who are going in and those who are coming out. Those who are anybody coming in and those who are going out, watch their movement. Watch what they do. Watch the type of person they are. Sometimes, looking at some people alone, you may be able to suspect something. Then you contact some people who will go further. Then furthermore, since many denominations hold religious festivals that attract millions of people from many continents of the world, threat assessment will guide the development of security envelope. It could be mounting installation surveillance gadget whereby all movements are monitored. It's the same point that we must be able to monitor our compound. We must be able to monitor ourselves. If we have conventions and we are all seated like this, don't let us assume that everybody there is a Christian. Don't let us assume. There may be security personnel among us who want to listen to what we are doing here. There may be SSS personnel among us. And there may be thieves, just common thieves among us. And there may be terrorists among us. So we must not take everything for granted. And it is not possible for one person to recognize everybody, especially during COVID. How many people will you know? But there must be conscious and deliberate policy of monitoring people. We must be conscious about it, and we must be deliberate. We can plant people around that we also pretend as if they are listening to messages, but they are actually watching people. They are actually watching the activities of people, especially around the center like this. We must be conscious of it. So proper monitoring of entrance and exit is very germane. I've mentioned this. So if we look at all these things, you will know that it is the duty of everybody here to play one role or the other concerning our security. In Nigeria, we have less than 500,000 policemen. And the United Nations projection is that we have we have one policeman to 400 people. And what is our population? We don't even know our population. We are more than 200 million. And we don't have up to 500,000 policemen. So, how many policemen will not be to one person? Maybe more than 1,000. Maybe more than 1,000 persons to one policeman. And policing is not physical strength alone. Policing is gadgets. Policing is, using computers, using technology. But what technology do we have in Nigeria Police Force? No, we have our batting. Then maybe our gun. So that will give us the consciousness that the job belongs to all of us. The job does not belong to the policeman alone. It belongs to all of us in our capacity, various capacities. In our various capacities, in the town, even in the town, and when we are gathered here like this, we are in the presence of God. God is the one that will protect us, but we must be able to do some part. We must be able to play our own part. And overall, I say above all, our security in the hands of God. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. And except the Lord keep the city, they wake up in vain. The guards are waking up in vain. If we are here, even if we drive the whole policemen in Oyo State to this place, it is God that will protect us. Even those policemen need the protection of God. So we must be prayerful. And I know we are doing that enough in GOFAMINT. Whenever we are holding convention, I know the powerhouse is there, and there are people that are praying for the well-being of the participants. And I pray that we will continue to do this in Jesus' name. So overall, God will continue to protect us. Anywhere we are, the protection of God will not depart from us. Anywhere we are, God will make his edge of protection to surround us in Jesus' name. But we must understand that the town is not smiling. Our security system is porous. Our security system is leaking. So we must be aware of this, and we must be conscious of it anywhere we go and whatever we do. God will help us in Jesus' name.